Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. I'm Bob Matthews. This is your one-stop shop for everything going on with the local 53. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of coverage. All right, here we are. We are done with minicamp. We are done with OTAs. We are done with the offseason program. The guys are going to split now for about 40 days. They're still working out, obviously. They are still training, but everything is pretty much in a holding pattern now until training camp starts in about 5 weeks. It will be critical, a lot of the stuff that they'll do in these next 5 weeks or so that they can hit the ground running when they get to training camp. But everybody goes their separate ways now for the next 5 weeks or so. There are still a couple of things, obviously, that we will be watching during this time, but today, at least, let's do a little bit of wrap-up of everything that's gone on this week with minicamp. And we are starting with Brandon Coleman, last year's left tackle, the third-round pick out of TCU. He actually confirmed to us that he is moving inside to guard this year. I get the feeling it'll probably be left guard since he played left tackle last year. Don't make it any harder on anybody that it has to be. I like that move, though, because Coleman was a pretty decent left tackle last year, and you put him on him right next to Laramie Tunstall, and that makes a pretty solid offensive line there. So the projection on the offensive line now, we've talked about it before, but it's a little bit clearer this week. You'll have Tunstall at left tackle, Coleman at left guard, Tyler Biotish at center, and then either Nick Allegretti or Andrew Wiley at least starting out the year at right guard until Sam Cosmi comes back, and then Josh Connerly Jr. at right tackle. More on Connerly here coming up in just a couple of minutes. We also want to hit on Deebo Samuel, Noah Brown. We'll get to Deebo in a second. The latest on Noah Brown. We're still waiting to hear what the results of that MRI is. As we record this today, still haven't heard. Now, check the comment sections, because if we get an update today or over the weekend, we'll go ahead and post something in the comments there. Otherwise, we'll keep tracking it for you on Monday. If you missed it, he came down kind of awkwardly yesterday at practice, had to be carted off the field. The athletics Ben Standing said it looked like the cart hit a bump or something, and it was kind of painful for Noah. Again, Dan Quinn said that he had an MRI. What he didn't say was on what part of the body the MRI was on, but anytime you got to get an MRI, it's probably not good. Question is, whatever the damage is he going to be ready for training camp? Unless we get really lucky, I think the answer to that question is no. And then the question is, do they go out and look for a veteran receiver, or do they just roll with who they've got? That's just a question that won't be answered until we get a little bit further down the line. But we'll keep you up to date on what is going on with Noah, because he is going to be a big part of the offense if he's healthy. As now for Deebo Samuel, like it says down there, everybody can just calm down about that little viral video from earlier in the week. I know people were saying that he looked like Eddie Lacy running out there, that he didn't seem very fast. And if you missed it, his former 49ers teammate George Kittle said, you can just calm down. Everybody goes, you're supposed to go half speed on an install, which is what they're doing. They're just installing the offense. I am so not going to be worried about Deebo Samuel, primarily because, and this is the way I want you to treat all of the stuff that you read online from the chattering class. Remember, what does everybody want this year? They want clicks and they want content. And because of that, people blow things out of proportion. Who do you need to listen to know what's really going on? Listen to the beat reporters. Listen to Nikki Javala, Sam Fortier, Ben Standing, John Keim, J.P. Finley, Chris Russell, Kevin Sheehan, all the guys in the D.C. media that are there at practice every single solitary day. In fact, I heard Nikki, I think it was on JP's show, saying that Deebo Samuel looked pretty fast to her when he was out there. So again, I put absolutely no stock in that video. That video can be very, 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 very misleading. I think Deebo Samuel is going to be just fine once the season starts. Now, if we get to week 3 and he's, hasn't caught a ball, then we can talk about some potential problems. But as of right now, life's too short. Don't worry about it. Some of the guys that made, turned some heads here at minicamp. Two of them that really stood out to everybody that saw the practices were Marcus Mariota, interestingly enough, and again, the aforementioned Josh Connerly Jr. If Connerly is the real deal, that is just a huge, huge pickup for this team. Again, if you've got a guy that can lock down the right side of that line, it just makes everything so much deeper on the offensive line. Remember, we already told you what are we looking at for the starting lineup as of right now? Tunsil, Coleman, Biotish, Wiley and or Allegretti, and then Connerly. And then once Sam Cosmi gets back, now you've got Nick Allegretti and Andrew Wiley as two of your primary backups. Those guys were starters last year. Now, I'm not saying that they were all pro caliber starters, but they were legit starting offensive linemen in the NFL, and that's what you want on the line. You want depth. The more depth you have, the better it is going to be for Jaden Daniels. And having a quality backup like Mariota means that if, God forbid, anything happens to Jaden for more than a couple of series, you've got somebody that can keep the ball rolling as things go on throughout the season. But again, let's hope Marcus does not have to take one snap this year. But again, hearing that he has done well, 10, 11-year vet out there, a guy that is ready to go at a moment's notice. Again, that is what you want to hear this time of year, that the depth looks good. All right, that is going to do it for us. Again, don't forget, like and subscribe so you don't miss a day of coverage. And check the comment section throughout the weekend. If we hear anything on Noah Brown's injury, we will let you know about it. Otherwise, have you a great weekend. We will see you again on Monday. And like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.